Second season. I'm so proud of all of you for sticking through that entire thing. And I love each and every one of you that commented, that left likes. And I appreciate all the views and the subscribers. Yo, it's a mad thing out here. Love you all. Thank you all for the love and support of the podcast, of the various videos. Yo, and if you're here again, that means you really wanted to see the second episode of season 2. So without further ado, here we go with some more craziness involving me, Gino, and our 2 guests with the very first episode cut into 4 parts. So here's part 2. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and please, please, please stay tuned for the rest of the parts. Hope you enjoy. Shogun. Peace. So you just said all the stereotypes. What the fuck about Piccolo? This nigga practically raised Gohan. What the fuck you mean? He took on a child that wasn't his.
That's a real nigga right there.
Right.
He was a house Namekian. He was the house Namekian. That's what that was. That's what...
because it's America, man. And if there's one thing that America definitely has, it's a short ass attention span. There's a reason why the media is so. It's because we have to. We have to, bro. We don't have no fucking time. If I'm at work, you know, I'm only doing work, and the moment I get off work, I'm driving through traffic, and then as soon as I get home, I'm taking care of my relationship, and then I'm, you know, cooking all this stuff. I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, because at the same time, I'm trying to look really cool, and then I'm doing the side hustle shit over here, so I'm up late at night. I might be, you know, printing t-shirts or trying to, you know, do some packs or like whatever it is. I know, especially out here in California, bro, it's all about hustle. People don't have time. People do not have time. So when I look at the news, I need you to literally force feed the news to me. And the moment you go, China's attacking America, everything stops, bro. The moment you go, Ukraine would start up with anybody, not saying they would, not saying they're the main culprits in it. Whoever wants to, you know, start fighting, I promise you, every media station is gonna go, George Floyd, possible war, world war. George Floyd, possible world war. So there's a possible world war that's actually about to,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like they're not about to.
My whole point about
you notice the news, it's right now everything is a light switch, bro. It's either one thing or the other. There is no middle. You can't.
My whole point about bringing it up is basically this. It's like, why does it take so long for America to figure out like what unity is? It just what takes them so long?
They know what the hell unity is exactly. They choose. Let me ask you.
They choose not to acknowledge it.
Let me make this point. If you or we were the superior race, we were. Would you want anybody to take it from?
What you talking about? What's wrong with him?
Exactly.
Not business-wise. Not in this country. We are. If it wasn't for us, entertainment wouldn't be entertaining. Or sorry, it wouldn't be entertaining. Sports wouldn't be sports. We all know what power we entail. The white people know how powerful we are, and that's the fear. But the thing is again, when you're a superpower, and you know you're a superpower, do you want anybody to take your superpowers from?
No, never. There's never, ever in the history of ever been a person who was in power, loved the power, and was like, man, I love this power so much, I wish I could just give it all up. No. Even Mansa Musa, one of the richest people in the history of history, when you look at it proportionally, when he gave out his wealth, he wasn't giving away his power, because here we are to this day, we understand and we know that this man went across the world giving away gold because he had so damn much. This man was so powerful, people wasn't trying to touch him. I give gold around. You ain't gonna touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like people understand unity. They understand that worth, all that stuff. It's let me play a little thing.
That was kind of like that. Hold on, that was kind of like a conversation I was having with 40 when we talked about how we as a people we'd rather do the plug instead of working with the plug. Because why would you work with why would you do the plug? The plug gonna give it to you.
So here's the thing.
You work the plug.
No, listen, it makes sense because that's what it is.
There's a reason why though.
No, but when you mess the plug up, this is the point he's making. When you mess the plug up, you only gonna get that one whop of money.
Yeah, just one.
Yeah.
Just one.
It's a big bang. But it's not enough to retire on. But you only not messed up the plug for yourself now. You messed up the plug for everybody else.
Everybody.
Now you gotta worry about the other people that was looking for that plug that ain't got it no more.
Right, they gonna be looking for you, man.
Yeah. Somebody gotta ask. I can't get. I was getting it to 10 and it cost 17. Those are just numbers, facts.
See, that's
Everybody
why dude could go around like that and give out gold. He can give out gold, and he got more. It don't matter because everybody respected he the plug.
Exactly.
Everybody respected he the plug.
Exactly.
Like, thank you.
But you always gonna have a greedy person that's gonna be waiting to take all the gold.
Exactly. So here's the thing. So and that greed comes from resentment. It comes from hate, which is exactly the point I was just about to make. So that was a perfect loop right there. Let me play a little perspective for you. So I went to college for psychology because my brain is like this all day long, and that's why I chief, because sometimes I need to slow down so I can have conversations, so I can properly articulate whatever, I'm talking in a direction. Now, let's say you are someone who comes from Mississippi. Your parents, mother and father, happen to be of this complexion. Caucasian is their race, and their nationality is American. They've been born here and they see each other, and their family is American. And when they say it, they say American. You know what I'm saying? Those type of people. You grow up watching the NFL, seeing countless African American brown men. You grow up watching the NBA, the MLB, soccer, you know what I'm saying? All these sports that are incredibly popular in your area are being dominated by these guys. However, in your everyday to-day experience, you probably only ever see a couple black people, which is really weird. You're like, everywhere I go, I live in a town where there's only 97% black people, but when I watch NFL games, it'd be like 84% of the team be black. Where are all these black people? I don't understand, because, and so now you get curiosity. And what's the next thing you do when you get curiosity? You do research. Now, through our days and times, me being 23, I was born in 96. Once I could actually comprehend and start remembering things was around 2000. So that's a lot of dial-up internet. We're starting to look into a lot of the technologies that we now are essential, are being developed, you know what I'm saying, and kind of polished off. The military is now not the only people using the internet. You know what I'm saying? I can go order things. 4 years later, we're talking about the birth of YouTube, and I believe Google came out in 99, 98, something like
Somewhere
that.
roughly around there, yeah.
I can't remember
98,
exactly.
99.
You know what I'm saying? So we're looking at the development of, or the evolving of things like school systems, because now no longer do I have to go to, I remember going to libraries when I was a kid, but I don't have to go to libraries no more. I remember just kind of staying in my place. So now people are a lot more isolated. I'm only seeing people online. I'm seeing rap songs and rap videos, and I'm watching, clips of, I'm watching, she gonna walk in and talk about, I love you. Just we know how black people are portrayed in the media, and that's their knowledge. That's what they see. So when they see us in real life, they take out the little tendencies. It was like, yeah, I was watching Cops, and there was this black guy on there, and he was yelling and screaming. He was like, what the fuck? And they kept bleeping him out and all this, da-da-da-da. And then I went out and I finally saw a black person, and they were at Walmart. And little does that white person know, at that point in time, that person was being profiled. You know what I'm saying? This 20 or this 50 is fake. It's like, no, this money is not fake. You was not finna fucking play me, bro. I need to go ahead and get these damn groceries and get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? I've been there where someone tried to make me look stupid over a bill just because it was brand new, and I'm like, no, it's come on. You know what I'm saying? You start off smiling and laughing, like, no, it's like, do you have a marker or something? But they wanted to just kind of eyeball it, you know. But that
I'm gonna tell you a funny story.
So my point was essentially saying it starts connecting in their minds, but the thing is that's not the whole picture. So once you get to points like this, when they're 20 something, 30 something, it's hard to unroot those, you know what I'm saying, those ideas that spawn as a kid. That's like, those are traumas. It's now a reality. That's not an idea no more. It's a reality. And your reality, Black people are like this. So when you get 30 and you have kids and they ask you, Mommy, Daddy, why is Kevin Durant so dark? Oh, it's because his people are just aggressive and you know what I'm saying? They don't know. So they just make up whatever is actually in their mind. They spew it out like a child.
Yeah, that stereotype of just what a Black person is or what a different culture is, it comes early, and whatever was that essential source material for it is very much like skewed, and it's really screwy. I mean, it's the same thing I'll translate it to people if you're listening and you're like me and you're very much into like the nerdy stuff or anime and stuff like that. You're a weeb like me. Japanese people go Naruto. My hero.
Side note, the guy from
Naruto, chill out.
One of the drawers, one of the main artists from Naruto was a Black guy, and he just started his own anime company.
Yeah.
I can't remember his name, but I'm definitely. Can you look it up?
You said the main artist for Naruto.
One of the artists. He did Bleach, that Butler one. I think it's called
Butler.
Gekome or something like that, and Naruto. But like, he just started his own anime company. I think he's low key. He might end up picking up that. What was that one? There's some dude on fucking Twitter going off about.
Are you talking? He was one of the animators, because if you're talking about just like the main artist, then you're talking about Kishimoto.
I'm not saying the main artist, but like I said, one of the main. When I said one of the main artists, I didn't mean like that. Just one of the animators, drawer guys. I don't know his name though.
Yeah, it's showing me all people of Asian descent. I don't know. Also search for. I'm trying to look up the guy.
Okay, but the point I'm getting at is for anime in general, they have a general sense of what a Black person is. You can get that in many sources, whether it's a Black samurai. You can look at the Boondocks like that. Dragon Ball. Oh my God, Dragon Ball Z. We're not like Mr. Popo. Mr. Popo was displayed as that, and a major argument. Yes, but a major argument that was put up about like the Namekians being like African Americans being heavily oppressed, and like people were making connections between the Namekians and African Americans. Yeah, so it's just like, and I asked someone this. I was like, okay, so if Namekians are African American, and how do you see African Americans? Like, oh yeah, you know, the typical stereotypes. You know, their fathers abandon them. You know, they love liquor, they love this and that. You know, very aggressive. I'm just like, okay, so you just said all the stereotypes. What the fuck about Piccolo? This nigga practically raised Gohan. What the fuck you mean? He took on a child that wasn't his.
That's a real nigga right there.
Right.
He was a house Namekian. That's what that was.
Straight up just called one of the hardest people in Dragon Ball a goddamn house.
Hey, I like this.
That's how they would have to see it.
Real talk.
I'm dead too. I'm so dead.
He raised Gohan to be such an outstanding person. He can't be all the way. He can't be all the way Namekian.
I don't want to hear that. Gohan was my favorite character. Gohan was washed. Gohan was so washed after Team Gohan.
funny.
So washed.
And then
How you gonna
Naruto,
make one of the strongest motherfuckers just weak?
Naruto had the village of the
Yeah, the village of the cloud. Village of
Or
the,
was it the
fucking.
village of the cloud?
It was the lightning village, basically.
Yeah,
It was
and
a lightning
everybody,
village.
everybody was just tan. Everybody was just slightly tan.
Except
every-
for the only. This is the stereotype that came in Naruto. Killer B, a fucking rapping
Yeah.
ninja.
Yeah, the rapping
Why he got to
ninja,
rap?
yeah.
Why?
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Because that's
Right.
a stereotype.
You never know. Yo,
All
like
black people
I don't
know
give
how
a
to
shit.
rap.
And then no. But what got me was the way. Right.
Like,
Here we go. Naruto. We about to train. Yo. Like, shut up. Who are you?
Like, he ain't even give him no like good shit. He ain't even
No,
like,
he wasn't spitting bars.
like,
This motherfucker was
He,
crap.
he's kind of like he was constantly rapping in Sugar Hill Gang filter, like
the basic ass raps.
I'm surprised he ain't jump off the electric slide.
Man, I'm telling you, bro. All right, now it's time to get funky.
Oh my
funky.
God.
Everybody come in here.
Just
Literally, bro.
Those stereotypes are just like the fact that you're feeding this to children in Japan. It's just like
yeah,
it's
and if you, it's funny
horrible.
because if you watch like the TikToks of those, like my homie, I'm not gonna say his name, but he's a producer. He teaches kids in Japan. He teaches them like English. He doesn't have to know Japanese very well himself. It's more so his job to teach the cadences and, you know what I'm saying, just kind of
pick
be
up
there
on
as a
nuances
guidance.
and all that.
Yeah, but like he tells me, just like the interactions are like we are seen as aliens, you know, and I try to make that emphasis as much as possible. I know my kids.
You know what's funny though? I was just talking to his brother and I'm pointing to Smooth yesterday. And he said the same thing that I said. I actually think white people are not from this planet. Look at the history. Yes, they came here to conquer. Everything that they say that the aliens entail when they come from outer space, everything that they did, or they said that they would do, that's what white people have been doing here.
He's basically saying this destroy all humans for.
Time out. All right, so they just released footage that there was UFOs. What the fuck is that? Okay, because they did that shit when like everything was hitting the fan. And,
Yeah,
and
it was so
like,
casual
there's
too.
UFOs,
It wasn't
and
like
we were
anything like, oh shit, there's aliens in the sky. Look up above. Oh shit, no, invaders and shit.
Fuck
No,
all
it's
this-
just, oh, we
fuck all
flying
this
around.
racism
Look at that
shit.
shit. Oh,
They
there's
did.
aliens.
they did the scale. They was like, how many people are dying right now? Oh, we just 1.5 mil.
Damn, that's a lot.
Yeah,
oh
that's-
wait, what's
that's a
that?
lot.
What's that
I'm-
news article
I'm
right
sorry.
there? What's that article? Wait,
What does
wait.
that say? They rummaged. They was
Black dot
they
through the
was-
sky officially confirmed
Look,
if alien released from the
said-
government.
They said, oh, coronavirus 1.5.
The thing is that when people realize
Here it
it's
is.
hard to
Alien.
You
It's hard
have
to believe.
aliens. We have aliens. No, that didn't get them. Yeah, we gonna have to kill a nigga.
Damn,
fuck.
we gonna have to do some shit.
Oh man.
Now look at this simple fact though. White people's skin is wet in the sun.
They talk about the Caucasus. What about Pangea?
It burns, right?
Yeah,
What about Pangea?
Who else on this planet do you know whose skin burns in the sun?
Hey, he making a case for this.
Facts.
dude. You making
I
a
mean,
case
but
for
okay.
this.
So there's always, so if we're getting really into this, I want to be the guy that pokes at the bear right now, just for right now.
I'm doing.
So the scientific explanation for that is because, you know, skin cells burn and shit. That's what happens, you know, when sun is intense. Their skin is so white and pale that it adjusts differently than, you know, our skin would, or
Melanin.
Native American skin would, or Asian skin would.
That's why they
That-
taking people eyes.
That's
and
their
whatnot.
explanation for that. But I understand what you're saying. Like, it would seem like fucking white people come from a different goddamn planet just because of that mentality. But that mentality stems from something totally different. That's just from like the plan of being like, oh, there's a hierarchy and shit. That's natural.
I mean, so here's the thing. Ultimately, it comes down for me if you really believe in evolution or not. Because in the same way that we talk about Pangea, you know what I'm saying? If we talk about Pangea, people, if you have a body of one species, just as they say, every human, if you look in their DNA, even Caucasian people, at the very, 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 very root, there is a small percentage of sub-Saharan African in their DNA, because at the beginning of everyone, they say we were all in sub-Saharan Africa. Now, when everyone expanded out and they wanted to get more resources, because we can't all be bunched up in one area, we don't have not near the technologies that we have today. So the idea of having millions of people in one small area is kind of not really sensible. We would end up using all the resources in our area very quickly, and then we would have to expand. So that's exactly. So that's exactly what happened. And when those people expanded, certain people they were able to kind of adapt to their situations. Now, they say all the yada yada break up the, the continents. Once continents break up, you ain't swimming at. It's unswimmable. We not getting in, into all that, So
that sounds like an amazing story.
It's I live in California, where I've now dealt with 4 earthquakes in the matter of 2 years.
Have it broke off yet?
It's getting close.
But at the same time, okay, so let's look at it. Right, shit is moving.
The tectonic plates are moving. So if you can look at it and say that it didn't break off, but all those pieces fit. When you slide them together, you can't tell me they don't look like they don't fit.
No, but even more than that, look at a map. If you look at a map from back in the 80s, if you look at a map from back in the 80s and then compare it to a map now, you're gonna see certain land masses starting getting flooded more. You're gonna see certain land masses start to disappear because there was land. If you look at the actual like ocean level, and then compare that to where it's going and what we have mapped out, there are actual places that don't exist anymore because the water level has risen.
The water levels, yeah.
So I wouldn't even doubt that. I ain't talking about no damn Atlantic shit.
If I'm standing on the coast, right? I'm standing on the coast, and I see some land that I used to be able to walk on, and there's water in between it, and it ain't going that fast. I'm like, damn, y'all look like this water is probably gonna come in between us. Maybe we should do something. So y'all just
but if I just came from that other area, and not only did I just use up their resources, but I don't like the people that are over there, why would I go over there?
Right. That's where I
can have my own area over here.
That's where everything's really breaking
off. First of all, I'm not going to be nowhere near where it's actually breaking off, because that's super dangerous. I'm going to be as far away as possible. Most of those people on the edges probably died. They probably ended up, falling off when the tectonic plates shifted, because there was earthquakes and volcanoes, and you don't survive those. Pompeii lets you know about those. Those are real. You can deny those as much as you want to, but our earth is hot. There's lava in it, and sometimes it pops like a pimple. You know what I'm saying? And you can act like we aren't standing on land, and there's not lava on top of this. I've never seen lava on top of land, but I've definitely seen lava come from underneath this soil. So that lets me know, that I'm standing on top of something.
So to bring it all back to what you were saying, basically.
So, my phone is saying with evolution, it's like the finches. Bro.
Yeah.
You have people who are in the mountains. They didn't need that sunlight. If it's never sunny, why would I need sunlight?
No. To go even deeper into it, where you're talking about where they want to start conquering shit and all that, that comes from a natural apex instinct that every animal has. There has to be somebody or something at the top of that list that needs to have everything surrounding the area under its control.
History has dictated to us what we learned in high school.
No. That's not something that we got to be taught.
Even beyond high school, though. But what I'm saying, who has been the only race, the consistent race, that has always started war or wanted to go and conquer and divide?
Everybody has.
Yeah. There is proof that
who is the predominant race?
Who have been the winners?
Who's been shown as the winners the most. Caucasian people are shown as the ones that have been conquering and stuff. But there's
'Cause I don't
there's
speak-
historical
I don't
proof
speak-
that the same
I-
shit happens in Africa, that some warlord needs to be in control,
Everything's
or
happening
a
now.
tribe needs to be, or there needs to be a king or a leader of a tribe. There needs to be a leader of some point for
There's
every
literally-
culture.
There's literally slavery in Libya
even
right
with
now.
even with, but the thing is, like I said, with the natural apex instinct, there has to be a leader of some species. Every species has an apex. For humans, it just happens to be an apex
who
comes
the
in the
leader-
color.
You know who the leader is? That's your father. He the leader
I-
of your house.
So
I'm
here's
the
the-
leader
I
of my
wouldn't say-
house.
I
What you
wouldn't-
mean?
I
I'm the
wouldn't say-
leader of my
You
house.
become the
So
apex.
here's the thing.
I'm
Here's the
the
thing.
guy
I wouldn't
that-
say.
That's
I wouldn't
that's
say-
the natural progression. If you want to be like the animal world, like how every lion got his pride and whatever.
And you
the apex.
you definitely
You-
speaking on what I'm about to
that's
talk
what
to
it is.
too. Exactly, because
Because
just like he said,
What it
that
is
father.
now, he the
Yeah.
apex. That's the one. That's the one who watch everybody and make sure stuff go right.
Mhm.
Nah,
The
this
leader of the
whole,
package,
like,
the moral
everybody
leader.
need a leader. We don't need no. We don't need no leader. I don't need no outside leader. I just need the leader that's hello. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gone. I'm finna. My phone finna die out. I'll put it on charge, man. But I'll get back.
All right.
Yeah,
Yeah. No, like, yeah, what he was talking about. Now, I understand what you're talking about, Show. Yeah. Every person, and I was just speaking with Jazz on this too, every person, especially when it comes to men,
You got another charge.
we have a desire to,
You know what?
hey, turn your phone off. every man has a obsession. We have something that drives us. We have a purpose. For some people, it's women, it's music, it's sports, it's business, it's maybe helping others. For some people, it's conquering. And if we look at people who come from an area where it is mountains and it's much harsher, you know what I'm saying, in those areas where it's always raining, and I know you're going against wolves and bears and mountain lions and you know what I'm saying, all that stuff that's going up there. We talk about Russia, you know, Siberian tigers. We know what the hoes is like. You know what I'm saying? They are not cute and cuddly, you know. And so if a species is constantly in contact with these type of, you know, situations, when we look at the same period of time, what was brown people doing? Oh, they was over here building, you know, all these establishments and all these monuments and all this crazy stuff. And, you know, once you meet up, you meeting articulate and savages. Not saying they are savages right now.
it's the
At the
assumption
time-
of what they are.
Exactly. We're looking at people who have established societies versus hunters and gatherers. And then you have to start like, okay, well, I want to adopt this and then I want to adopt that. And then some people just don't look right. I'm gonna look at you, you look different than me. Oh, we finna get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? Just because this established society decided to, you know, take a boat up here. They didn't already discovered boats or whatever, you know, and they stole it. And then, you know, people's brains are still developing. You know, we act like we've been smart forever. A couple 100 years ago, people didn't even think like the sun moved, or they didn't think that the earth moved. And they, you know what I'm saying? They thought that the sun, everything went around the earth and everything changes, everything, you know what I'm saying? And then we have technologies. And right now, I live in an era where I'm entertained by electricity and metal. I can play Grand Theft Auto because we've learned to manipulate electricity and metal and glass that well. Hundreds of years ago, thousands of years ago, they were manipulating wood and stone and they were like, oh, we just found out if you make things blow up and we put it in a small container and you don't make the container blow up, you can do stuff with the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how slow our minds are. We're at the tip. We keep thinking we're so smart. We're at the tip of our knowledge.
Yeah,
We
because
barely
we don't know how to use more of our brain capacity, and it's just
exactly.
well,
So
not
that's why,
everything.
and we gotta to our heads together just to be able to do it. You know what I'm saying? But right now it's a time of so much. People are frustrated because we can't move forward until we get done with this bullshit. That's how people feel.
That's
They're like, bro, y'all keep killing us. Like, fam, there's nothing more I can do, man. I done seen Black Panther. I done seen protests peacefully with my own parents. I done seen my own grandma escape the Great Depression and slave. My grandmother lived through the birth, debate, and abolition of the Jim Crow laws. That's ridiculous. My great-grandfather escaped slavery. Every time I say my name, I think about that.
Yeah, that's
like somebody else looked at him and was like, "You're gonna do work for me for free because I own you," and not metaphorically, but like I don't even really need a piece of paper. Just the sheer will that I might kill you in case you don't do it. Like that's what he escaped. I'm not talking about 1,000 years ago. I'm talking about my great-granddaddy.
yeah.
Like, you know, so people, until they start realizing we live this has been a constant for us. You know, eventually people they're gonna be like, man, we didn't get reparations. We still get killed. My homies still going to, either my homies can't work a job because they're in the neighborhood where if they work a regular shift, they'll get fucked up by the gang members in the neighborhood. So they gotta stay home and they gotta gang bang. So they might end up dying gang banging, but they could get out the hood if they do really good in school, but their school doesn't really have any money because property taxes are trash. So he's gonna probably go to the military, but we're going through some conflict right now. So my homie might actually end up dying because he's gonna be deployed over wherever, and then he comes back, he's gonna have PTSD, which is gonna make it really hard for him to cope with everybody, on top of the fact that his country already doesn't even treat him equally, and he just got done fighting for that motherfucker. Like, it feels like, I feel like I'm like, okay, bad door. Maybe if I rap about how hard it is, then I can get famous. But I also have to do more illegal things to make it seem legitimate, because for some reason my own community won't support me unless I do that.
Yeah, basically, I like.
And it ain't only just them though. It comes down to, again, the propaganda of the radio stations and the people that run the radio stations that brand the music industry.
Because that's the only thing they want to see.
Give them positive music, they will not play it. But anything that you talk about, drug dealing, killing somebody that look like you, or hell, brandishing a gun, they're gonna play that. The positive stuff they don't want to play. Why is that?
Listening to these playlists, man, and like, and it hurts because, like, you know, I don't know if I said on the on chat podcast listeners, I got this DJ board, and I know it's really small, and everyone out there with DJ is like, it's like having a little dick. I've been doing music and shit, just trying to, you know, mix songs and stuff. I want to, you know, get a little craft, and as I've downloaded and bought Tidal, and I'm listening to the playlists of rap and New South and New Midwest, yeah, and it's all, you know what I'm saying? Shoot this, smoke this, pop this, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know that's club music and all that. And I remember at a time, exactly, because they're at a point, I felt like rap used to, like, it progressed like thing after thing after thing, but we need something different. Like, it cannot be this Lil Pump. And J. Cole predicted it, bro. That's why he sat down with Lil Pump, because he sat down with Lil Pump like, hey, I'm gonna let you know right now, this is gonna be the peak. Like, you're gonna have a euphoric moment. Years and years and years from now, sitting back like, damn, I was sitting there with J. Cole. I wish I would have fucking listened. Because who is Lil Pump now?
Exactly.
You gotta cut that shit off.
I mean, okay, so,
Like,
and I'm not gonna fault anybody that I know that is trying to make it, because you hear certain styles just keep going repetitive. Right. That's what I want to hear from people. Like, at least I want to hear one song where you talk in your mind. You ain't talking about the same shit. You know, I roll around with the Glock on my side. Like, I don't care. That don't mean shit to me.
Big Glock.
And
big Glock.
I can. And I'm not gonna name drop Gino. You know him, and so do you. Love this man to death. Love him to death. But
your mind,
it's
man.
the same style from him ever since I've known him as a kid. It's the same style from him, and I want to see a little something different every once in a while from him. But then it's just like, bruh, like you're saying the same shit a different day, like on a colder beat. I'll give you that, but it's
facts. No,
it ain't shit I'm gonna listen to.
Exactly, and it's not to fault people.
Right, it's not. I'm not saying like you
everything
ain't progressing as a person, but at the same time, you're not. You know, there's a certain time. There should be a message at some point. There should be a message to progress.
Yeah, if you don't feel moved by the song, if you're not, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like music has become, you know, very so monetized. It's an easy way to make some money sometimes if you're very dedicated.
Yeah.
You know,
trust me, I know.
You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I love the idea of being able to feel, you know, connected to the music. When somebody's saying something, when they're rapping, when they're singing, when they're, you know what I'm saying, doing whatever, like, ooh, that. I was just telling Show, I was starting to work on some shit myself. Like, I'm trying to I was reading some Langston Hughes. Side note, Langston Hughes had bars.
He did.
Yes, sir. Where do you think rap came from?
If Langston had 808s, man.
Where do you think rap came from?
Bangers. Spoken word, poetry.
The Harlem Renaissance was a dope era. But the thing is that look at the content and the music that they were making then as opposed to now. Now, I will go in defense of the music that's being made. It's a reflection of where you're from, what you see, situations that you are used to. That's why everybody's looking for authentic and really to be really gangster. If you say you gangster, show us you gangster. Yeah. A real gangster ain't gonna show you that they gangster. Because real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Like lasagna.
Playing just.
I'm just saying.
Like I said, I don't fault people for playing the system because, you know, if you're gonna make it, that's what you gotta do at one point. Smooth, you gotta mute yourself.
It's all gimmicky.
But like, so I was reading one of his pieces and it made me think of this that I had wrote a little bit back. I was mad just one day, just kind of looking and listening to everything on Twitter, and I said, wondering the fuck who displaced me, who made my nose wide, and who made my food Cajun, who decided to be planted here on this nation. When the go-to for us is Goku riding through the spaceship. They came for our spaceship. Bold enough invading my spaceship. Eye to eye, I could do faceless, but we dull the look in our eyes. So slow snow fear might not arise. Black people have the conversation. Whole time y'all act like we don't say shit. Man, if we were aliens, we need to go back to where we came. Looking for my spaceship. Ready to go.
Yo, I like.
Deep as hell, boy.
Yeah.
Damn.
Let's make a deal right now.
Hey,
I mean, it's just it comes at some point. It just comes naturally. You have those moments where you really need
I was
to
just
push
so
it.
mad, bro. I'm like, bro, for real, they treat me like I'm an alien, bro. Y'all in my space shit, like shit. So how you gonna call me an alien? If that's so, let me go back to where I came from. I'm looking for my space shit. Real life.
Facts.
How you feel?
Facts. I'm gonna go real deep with y'all real quick though. The thing that hit me with this, let's go back to how all this protests and all that stuff even jumped off this go round. I'm so intertwined into it and I'm so engulfed in it. The guy who killed George Floyd, I had a run-in with him in 2008.
He has so much history.
Back up my job. He's the first person that pulled up on us.
Wait,
Derek Sharp.
Wait, you said wait.
Where?
You're breaking.
At Walker Place.
There you go.
Yeah.
So what happened?
At Walker Place, I was a lead cook at a resident home. Walker Place. I'm in the back. Actually, you just got to spit bars. One of my fellow employees, her nephew was a rapper. So I had him come out on my break, and we sat in this car listening to music. Went to the car, got my CD book, came in this car, we sitting and listening to it. He's in the front seat, his cousin's in the passenger seat. I'm in the back seat. My car slowly pulls up. And I looked to old dude at the front and I was like, hey, like, damn, you got any guns in the car? And he was like, nah. I was like, you got any drugs in the car? Nah. He was like, why are you asking me that? I was like, I guarantee you that cop car that went past, he's gonna go to the stop sign, he's gonna hit his lights, and then he's gonna bust a U-turn, and he's gonna pull up behind us. He did exactly what the hell I said he was. Derek Shopper comes up to the car, asks him for his proof of insurance and his driver's license. He didn't have the proof of insurance, but he had his driver's license, and he gives it to him. And then he asks him, can I ask what this is about? He told him, shut the fuck up, and I'm gonna go back here and I'm gonna read your license and I'll be back. That already dictated what kind of interaction we're about to have.
Yeah.
It lasted like an hour, 20 minutes.
What?
It got to the point where I begged them to search us. I had to get back into my job. I'm on break. I got stuff in the oven, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that or whatever. And it turned into a whole show. They put on a show for the neighborhood. I ended up in cuffs in the backseat of the squad car for no good reason. After begging them to search us.
It was a good reason. That's all
I told you, man, it's like no matter what you say or what you do, they don't give a damn about what you're saying. They see your black skin and they just know. That's why they was running my license. They want to see if I have warrants. I can tell them no difference. Yeah, it's crazy. That's how it is with all of us.
And I sit and I think sometimes, you know, just even looking at myself, where I'm 6'4", you know what I'm saying? I've been this height. I was just saying, I've been this height since I was 13 years old. You know what I'm saying? The only thing that has changed is the hair on my face. I promise you, I look exactly the same when I shave it off. So.
Yeah, you do. I can tell.
Hey, black don't crack, but I think about every time that, you know, I just stayed indoors and think about my situation as a kid, like living in you know, the town that I moved to instead of staying in Gary. I didn't live near anybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I lived right next to my school, which means I walked there and I walked home. You know, everybody else lives far. As much as, you know, I want to invite everybody over and stuff, these niggas ain't got cars. So I don't know who's taking you home, but you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be me because I ain't got no car. I didn't get a car until I was in college, you know? And so I'm thinking about all the times that, you know, y'all experiences growing up was hella different. Or maybe if I just would have lived on the other side of town, because plenty of my homies that I went to school with had very different stories. You know what I'm saying? Like, I always kept myself out of it. I always stayed out of the mix because I didn't know nobody. I ain't got no size. I ain't got no leverage. So I'm not even going, you know what I'm saying, put myself in that situation. I wasn't really that welcome in my area like that. I knew my role. I'm not going to overstep my boundaries and get fucked up. You know what I'm saying?
It's messed up that you got to live like that. Everybody should be able to be their authentic self.
Yeah.
I don't care what race you are. You should be able to be who you are unapologetically. It should never be a matter. My kids, be yourself.
I wouldn't take them saying that. I wouldn't even take them saying that. Him not being able to be himself. Him just not being able to be over there with them. Over there
Just
with them.
comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
And rep them and be, because I ain't from, that ain't where I'm from. But you should be able to go anywhere.
Exactly.
Be like, just because we who we are, you should be able to go anywhere and be comfortable with that. That's like here. I'm comfortable going everywhere I go here, and I find it funny when people say, when people have that reaction that you always gonna get. But I'm comfortable here. Is it because I'm a big black guy? Probably is. I don't know, but I would say 99% of the time that's what it is. But you should never have to be uncomfortable around places, and I'd be uncomfortable around places.
Yeah, no, I remember me and because I used to live with Sean down in Chula Vista. It's this town a little bit outside of San Diego, about like 30 minutes or so, closer to the border. And we were pulling out of our apartment complex, and it's kind of like a capital I. You know what I'm saying? You got some way, your gate, and then the street. H, whatever you're gonna call it. As we're coming out, I look and I see a police officer over there, just kind of like, he's parked up like kind of on the sidewalk. Sean has his phone in his hand because he just took it out of his pocket, and he hands it to me to go, hey, can you text this person back for me? I said, cool. I grabbed the phone. We passed the police officer. By the time we're like even into the street, I see him moving, and he's like, pull over. Pull over. And so he pulls us over. You can't be using your cell phone while you're over here. Yeah, I know that. That's why I handed it to my passenger, sir. Let me get your license and registration. Let me run this, that, and the third.
He had no liable cause for doing that.
At all.
He knew it. That's the games they play.
But here's the thing. The neighborhood we stayed in, our apartment was like $2,100 a month. There's a little plaza, like a strip plaza right next to us, like that was just newly built, that had daycare and preschool and little restaurants and a nice little gas station, and across the street is a park and an adjacent apartment that looked just like it, and there's a trolley system that comes down the street. It looks like fucking Mr. Rogers' home, but it's outside. You know what I'm saying? Like,
there's Mr. Trolley right there.
You know it's a good neighborhood when there's a bike lane on the sidewalk. They got enough space. They said, no, we'll leave all the cars alone. We want to make sure that you stay over here safe, but also not away from these people. That's how much room they had to just fuck off money, you know? And he saw us coming out of this apartment complex in a Toyota 4Runner, and he was like, that truck's a little bit too old, and them motherfuckers a little bit too dark. You're going to have to pull over. You know what I'm saying? And he pulled us over for no reason. And searched, of course, found nothing. And you know what's ironic? That same 4Runner, maybe like 3 weeks before, had just got broken into, and they stole the stuff out of it. So he over here pulling us over because he think we suspects. Whole time we victims. There's people over here, right? Yeah, there's people over here arriving. Not us, we live here. He's like, oh, you're from around here? Yes, as you can see from my ID officer and that street sign right there. I live here. Why would I steal something?
Like how they make it seem like you stupid as hell.
Yeah.
Why would you do that? Like, if I'm talking to you, I can't be that bad. Well, if I am talking to you, I probably am stupid.
Yeah, he's like, what? This guy's talking to me. He must be pretty stupid. That's funny.
That shit get old.
Hey, Shogun, you ain't got no audio.
Fuck! I forgot I muted myself when I went to the bathroom. All right, anyway, so where I'm from, yes, it's very, 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 very divergent. So many, is that the right word?
Diverse.
Diverse. There we go. Why the hell did I think of divergent? Anyway, it's very diverse where I'm at. But where I went to college, no. 4 hours up north and to the west, I went to college in Fargo Moorhead. Right on the border of Minnesota and North Dakota.
Lily White.
It was very like Scandinavian, Norwegian white.
That's all
Predominantly white.
That's all the clients at my job.
So I go to college there. There's probably 5 black people on my campus.
Man, when I visited Asia,
out, dude. I went. So we're going out to go to NDSU, North Dakota State, and that's where all the fraternities, sororities are. That's where all the parties are. It's me and
the 5 of y'all.
No, it was 3 of us, and like we weren't stupid. Of course, we had some white people with us, you know, to try camouflage. I'm aware you're saying.
All they gonna do is look in the car and look at the white people and be like, "Are you okay?"
We weren't in the car. We were walking around, but we walked in the way. We walked in the flanks. All the black people in the center, white people all around. We thought it was enough. It wasn't. Anyway, so we're walking over to try to get to one of the parties.
Holding hands? You gotta hold hands.
We black dudes.
After 1965, you can't interrupt a white and black person holding hands in public. Now it's kind of shady area. They be shooting niggas in the face with rubber bullets. Yeah, so I don't know. The rules change. The tables look kind of shifty right now. But as far as I know, if you're out in public in like a Six Flags, singing Kumbaya. Look at me now. Look at me now. Interlocked. All right. None of this shit. This is best friend. Okay. You got to do possible fucking. All right. And then they can't touch you. You got to be like, officer, just like this. Hold it, officer. They arm just waving. Officer, please no. And then there you go. I'm telling you. It's fucked up. That's where you fucked up. They circled around you like it was the weekend or something. And they was like, nah, break this shit up.
Pretty much. But anyway, we trying to get to this party, and there's another group in front of us. All white dudes, ain't a woman around them, all acting real stupid. You know, running around doing just jank shit. So
like drop stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So each and every one of these niggas, you know, they're just around to fuck shit up. They sitting there throwing shit at houses and shit like that. It gets to the point where we're walking down the street and we turn a corner and there's a cop around that corner. We couldn't see him. We turn that corner and we turn the corner and of course these motherfuckers are still doing stupid shit in front of the cop and we're watching them do that while they're still going. The cop decides to get out of the car. And everybody, you know, they freeze up. I'm not fazed by this shit. I'm just like, okay, cool. He's getting out. Then the cop goes like, all you stop. And for some reason, the white people all disperse. And my friends are like, oh shit, our shield. And they jet off. I'm not about to stand there and catch heat for some shit I ain't do. I'm definitely not going to stand there and get arrested for some shit or possibly be detained for some shit. So I'm off too. Fuck that. Shit. But then, right, I turned into the Flash for a good 30 minutes. I was not seen.
That wasn't no atypical story.
Man.
But so here's the thing though. The cop, you know, I can hear him get back in the car and take off. We lose the cop, and I'm trying to make sure, you know, find out where my friends are. And
black one.
Yeah, the black one's first. But no, I was checking on everybody. But the cop, at some point he rolls by the place where I'm hiding, and he rolls down his window and he sees one of the people that was with me, and he's like, "You all need to stop running," and keeps going on to do whatever the fuck he's doing. Come on, I'm like, ain't this about some racist ass shit? Because if you knew if he would have caught my ass or any one of the other motherfuckers, we'd been on the ground with the goddamn handcuffs on or a gun pointed at us.
And you have no idea how that situation is gonna go, because they'll look at, and that's what I was talking about. Like, they'll look at 13-year-old me. What are you talking about? That's a grown man. He's 6'3". I was 140 pounds. I wear the same size clothes. Why? Because my arms are long. That's why I wear a double XL, because I look like fucking Giannis Antetokounmpo, okay? Not because I'm a grown man. I was still 13. Like, my wing ain't even get wet at that point of my life yet. So you can't even call, like, you know. So it's so crazy to think at that age somebody look at me and bow. I could die, get tried. You know what I'm saying? No trial, just executed.
Yeah.
No, that's funny about that.
I had to point that out in my video too. The last video I posted, I had to point out the fact that kids are scared to go and be outside with a police officer around because they don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. And it's just like, why are we in a world where a child has to be scared of a cop instead of seeing a cop as he's gonna protect us like he's supposed to?
because they have historically watched the videotape since the day and age we are in right now. You guys mentioned technology. It has everything to do with it. And plus, your parents need to teach your ass what's really going on. They need to show you what's going on. Don't lie to your kids. Tell them the truth, the absolute truth. Because it might save their life. Or others that surround them. You gotta be truthful.
Kids don't go outside anyway. They too busy in video games. Stuff like that.
That is the truth. Mine, both they shitty right now because I told them to get off their iPads.
I knew they was gonna react.
Yeah, all that.
It's an hour, daddy.
Mari be
That is literally their
Alright, I won't be
livelihood.
on my iPad. Okay, that's cool. I won't be on my iPad. Brings up laptop, okay, and YouTube.
You got to
Exactly.
go outside and play kitchen. Go play kitchen.
Go play kitchen out. Nah, it wasn't even that. It was take your ass outside. I'll beat your ass. That's it.
I mean, where the imagination at? That's where the imagination gone.
Exactly.
Sitting here like we Rugrats and shit. Oh shit, it's a dinosaur. It's coming down the street.
Right.
Here you go, Jay. Here's how you do it. Find that episode of SpongeBob when Patrick and SpongeBob had that cardboard box. and going, imagination. And then he said, it went right over his head. And then show it to him when they complain about the technology. Be like, look at how much fun they had. And then go to like Best Buy or something. Every Best Buy got a big ass fucking refrigerator box in the back that they ain't broke down.
I'll give you one.
Man,
I'll give you one better.
we
We grew up in a place where it
security
was.
guy will jump for joy. I promise you.
We grew up in a place
In the
where
box.
a box was just so fucking entertaining. I used to have a box house in my room when I was a kid. That shit was the most fun I ever had in my life.
You can hop in it. You can fucking lay the box down, slide out that bitch. Tom
The best
Clancy,
thing that
fucking
taught you how to
Winter
do
Cell
that.
style, fucking.
The best thing that taught us how to do that for our generation. You remember the show Out of the Box?
Wait, was it on Nickelodeon or was
No,
it?
it was like one of those like educational shits, but it was like
I didn't watch Out of the Box.
it was on PBS for a minute.
Hey,
It was
I
on
never heard of
PBS.
that either.
they was
Look it up,
talking
because it was a black dude who was one of the main cast members.
Actually, I think I know what you might be talking about.
I think I did a test.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah,
y'all know
yeah.
this. Y'all know this. Y'all know this for sure. Y'all for sure know this.
I'm about to bring it up right now.
There's so much imagination lost now, like so much of this lost.
They gotta have imagination, man. The kids, and that's what's really, and to be honest, that's what's helping push this progressive movement. Is shit like TikTok. All these TikTok kids, all these black TikTok kids, they weren't getting paid. They had a cool little soiree where TikTok was like, all the black creators come out, and they invited like I think it was like 50, 60 of them. They all, was in hotels, and it was some weird little thing that they threw together. But they're essentially just trying to start an annual thing. Coronavirus kind of fucked it up, but they wasn't staying silent. They was like, no, I don't like when people duet my TikToks and they're saying racist things. I don't like when y'all leave racist comments. I don't like when I see racist profiles and y'all be using fake profiles to say stupid shit or be on my lives trying to hack it or all that stuff, like, or get clout for I've seen so many young black TikTokers say, I don't understand how we watch some little white girl dance a little bit and she gets 1.3 million views. You know what I'm saying? And 200,000 likes. And then for a black person dance on there, the actual creators of the dances be black women, 14, 15 years old, and these girls be having like 10,000, 20,000 views. It's like, what the fuck? So who's viewing it?
It's not surprising to anybody anymore that we are that talented. We created the talent.
Blueprint.
So when they see white people, that's another thing too. They swagger jackers.
Conquerors.
They look at something that's been created by another culture, embrace it, and then take it over.
Well, you made it through part 2 of the first episode of Show and Go Show. Season 2. Sorry, you lost my words. Anyway, thank you all for watching. stay tuned for part 3. It's gonna be a mad thing. All right, we get into some very spiritual things. Y'all gonna enjoy it. Thank you all for watching. I'll catch you all later. Peace.